We had Teri Ijeoma on to talk about the stock market. She's a millionaire. She's a millennial millionaire out in them streets day trading or swing trading. And the market had its worst day ever. And I'm imagining that Teri Ijeoma is not crying a river, but she might be. I don't know. Let me welcome her back to the show, Teri Ijeoma.
Hey, Karen, how are you?
I'm good. So you always have a smile in your voice. I can hear it.
Yes.
Tell me why
Today was another good day.
Say that again.
Today was another good day.
She said today, this was the worst stock market crash. It crashed 10%. Worst crash since 1987. Why was it a good day for you?
Well, I specialize in making money when the stock market goes down. So today it went down a lot. So my positions did pretty good.
Now, explain to people what that means, because when folks look at that, they're looking at their 401k or they're looking at their, their retirement funds or they're looking at their investment accounts and they're seeing that a lot of people may have lost, several $1,000s today, right? But you gained. So how do you gain when the market goes down?
Yes, and let me mention, I don't want to be inconsiderate of all the people who have lost money because I do know that the market coming down has hurt a lot of people's retirement accounts. A lot of people have gotten hurt in terms of just assets in their accounts. So I am not dismissing that at all. We have definitely come down a lot, but I will say we're actually probably not done coming down. We just now scratched the surface of where we were back in December of 2018. And so if anybody remembers when we came down 20% in December of 2018, that's where we just got today on the S&P 500. So we'll have to test this level, see if we can bounce a little bit. But if it goes through here, we may go down lower. But for me, I'm able to do a few different things. There's ways in stocks and options that you can make money on the way down. So I've been doing those type of trades lately.
And how do you do that? What does that require?
Yep. So first of all, in order to do many of the things that I'm going to tell you about, like it's called shorting, you have to have the right type of brokerage account. So many regular, normal people can't do this because they don't have the right brokerage account. So in order to short, which means that you're going to sell.
So let me just pause you. So if you have Robinhood or if you have Acorns or something like that, or not Acorns, Stockpile or Robinhood, this is not the place where you're going to be able to do shorting.
Correct. You would need a more robust broker, and you need a type of account called a margin account where you're able to use the bank's money and your cash. In a margin account, you can short.
Okay.
If you don't have that kind of account, you can't.
All right. Continue. I'm sorry I cut you
Yep.
off.
Oh, that's okay. But, that's a good point to mention because a lot of times we just don't know what type of accounts we need. So we go in and we just tell them, hey, I just want a regular brokerage account. And even if you went to Bank of America and opened a Merrill Lynch account or went to Chase, they have new accounts. If you don't say margin, they won't give it to you. So you have to check when you're doing your application. There'll be like a bucket that you just check off, just kind of like you do checking and savings. You'll do margin instead of a regular brokerage account, and that'll let you short. And then when you short, what you're doing is it's almost like if I sold somebody my cell phone and then I went on eBay and bought it back lower, I get to keep the difference. That's what you're doing when you're shorting stocks. You're just selling them high and then buying them back lower and keeping the difference.
Okay. So if people have never done this before, and again, I feel like folks want to do things that they don't know anything about. And I'm going to need people to not jump in to something that you are not. You've been doing this the better part of a decade and change.
Yes, I've been trading for 10 years, and I completely agree. You have to get educated. So go take a course. I put a webinar up for free for people today. If you go to iTradeandTravel.com, go learn before you do any of this. Just like the stunt people, this is for a professional. Learn before you try any of this at home. But yes, shorting it's a simple thing. You can do it in a regular account, but you just make money on the way down.
So, and we're talking about this, 866-801-8255, if anyone has any questions for Teri Ijeoma. She's here. We're going to tweet out the link on SXM Urban View, so follow us there so you can actually, Teri teaches a class in addition to her webinar. She teaches this online, and I know several people who are in her class. How did you learn about this? Because I knew that you can make money on the way down, but all of the terminology and things. It's like, even investing in the stock market. That's not something that we talk about in our community. So how did you get introduced
That's
into
right.
this?
That's right. You definitely have to take a course. So I actually had to take courses too. Up until about 4 or 5 years ago, I thought the only way to make money in the market was to buy low and sell high. So the only way you could make money is if the market was going up. But then I took some classes with some people that don't look like us, and I'm a woman. Men were my teachers, and they were like, "Oh no, boo boo, there's another way to do this." They were the ones who had to put me on game, as we would say, but they were the ones who had to teach me. And so I took some classes under them, and then this whole new world was opened up to me. Like, hey, all these big-time people, they're not crying during market declines. They are making money like fist over hand. Like, this is great for them. Because just imagine if you had a position in, and all of a sudden, and you make money on the way down, and all of a sudden the position went down 2,000 points in a day. Do you know how much money they just made?
Give me an example. And what's a position? We're talking with Teri Ijeoma. The number here is 866-801-8255. You're listening to the Karen Hunter Show. It's Thrive Thursday. And while a lot of people are panicking because this is one of the worst stock market crashes in history, actually, since 1987, Teri Ijeoma is not crying. She's not unhappy today because she actually made money. So you can make money. What is a position, and what does that mean? Explain what you just said.
Sure. Okay, so let me give you a couple examples. It was just 2 weeks ago we were at all-time highs. So there were several stocks I was looking at that were at all-time highs. One of them was Chipotle. So Chipotle, and 2 weeks ago, just 2 weeks, was at $946. Then it came down over the last 2 weeks, and today it closed around $586. And I may have my numbers a little off because I'm not looking at the screen right now, but that's a $400 decline off of its highs from just 2 weeks ago. Another one that I saw was Tesla. Everybody always likes to talk about Tesla. Tesla went up to almost $1,000 a couple weeks ago. Now it closed under $600. Yeah. So that's a $400 decline. So all these, and I don't actually. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's at 560.55.
Well, see, there you go. So, and I don't support Tesla and all these things I'm saying just for examples. But if you are thinking about stocks that were at highs a couple weeks ago and now they've fallen, if you were making money on the way down, you just made some really good money.
Now, talk about...
So that's what I mean.
We're talking with Teri Ijeoma. Talk about how you're not literally... Last time you were here, you were like, I don't sit up and watch the stock market all day. I watch it when it opens, and I watch it somewhere midway through, and then I watch it when it closes. You can actually set up, because I set up, because I don't do what you do. I don't swing trade. So I know if I'm looking at the market and I want to buy something, I set up a trade for the price that I want to pay for it, and I leave it good till canceled, which means whenever the market hits that price that I want to pay for it, I get to buy it at that price. Do you do the same thing?
I do. And there's a couple things I would tell people with order types. So good till canceled is an order type. One thing I do want them to know is if they are trying to exit a trade, I want them to make sure to put it as a limit order, not a market order. So say, for example, we have somebody who wants to retire soon, and they're like, oh, my God, Teri, I need this money, so I need to move my position to cash. I just want to get out of this stock as it goes down. If it comes back up, I'll get back in, which, by the way, I think is a good idea. If there's something that you're like, I just can't see my account go down any further, move it to cash. You can then put in a limit order, which is what I'm telling you now how to do. Put in a limit order at the price you got out, and that way when it starts coming back up, you can get back in. You didn't have to ride it down and watch your account go down. But a limit order is just an order type. So when you're going to exit, you'll say sell, and then it'll say, do you want to sell at market or sell a limit? Put in limit order, and then you get to specify the amount that you want to sell. Like, you'll put in the price. And then, like you said, Karen, you can put that as a day order, as something that just happens for the day, or you can say, I want this to sit in the computer for as long as it needs to, and that's good till canceled. It'll say GTC in your broker's account. Guys, make sure you're doing that, because what I've seen is a lot of people put in market orders, and with the market moving so much in a day, it can take you out at whatever price it wants to if you don't specify a limit. So that's one idea and suggestion I definitely would have for people. But yes, I'm doing what you said, Karen. I'm putting orders in, and then I'm kind of going about my day until they're hit.
So you made money today.
I did. I was actually a little disappointed because I could have made more, but I got out a little early. But yeah, I made about $10,000. So, for me, like, I'm trying to make 6 figures a day. So for me, I'm like, dang.
Right.
But yeah, made money today, and I did it on the S&P 500. So as it was falling, I made some money today.
All right. So you weren't investing in individual stock. You were investing in the stock market as an entity.
Yes. So I was investing in the index, but I do have 2 positions on that I am holding. And again, y'all, this is just what I'm doing, not what I'm telling you to do. But I
right.
did
So
get
let's do a
into
disclaimer. We're not telling you to do anything. These are just
the views
examples.
expressed by the show's producers and its guests are not necessarily those of Karen
tell
Hunter
us that you
or
did what you said.
SiriusXM.
You told us to do it. No one told you to do this. Go ahead, Teri.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for that. But I did get into a little bit of teledoc today because I do feel like with the coronavirus, as everyone's going home, I expect the government to say, you know what, we want you to call into teledoc, or maybe even your insurance will start saying, we want you to call into teledoc first, see if you're really sick, and then go to the emergency room. Like you said, nobody wants to go to the emergency room and get more sick if they're not. So I did invest into a little bit of teledoc as it came down today. And then I'm also invested in a small position in Zoom because I do feel like as people start going home, then everyone will need a way to still do work, and Zoom does work. So there's a couple stocks that still work, but overall, the index was where I was today.
But you're watching what's happening in the country. You're watching what's happening with individual companies. You're doing your research. You didn't just say, oh, let me just jump in, da-da-da-da, or I heard somewhere, someplace. How much time do you spend, Teri Ijeoma, researching the stocks before you actually pull the trigger and buy or sell?
I spend about an hour a day. So I have a watch list of about 30 companies that I'm really familiar with. And so every day I go and I look at all those companies and read their charts because I'm a big technical analysis person. So I'll see, where did the price move? Is it in a place where the banks are starting to buy? And that's what I was saying with the last time that price came down to this level, we had a lot of banks come in and buy, and we can see that on a chart. So this is a place where I'm like, you know what, we may have a little bit of a bounce because we'll have a lot of banks coming in to buy. But that's what I'm doing. Every day for about an hour a day, I go in and look at my stock chart, and then I'm ready to make some moves for the next day.
Teri Ijeoma, you can follow her on Instagram at I am an investor. It looks like Imani Investor. I am an investor.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm an investor.
I'm an investor.
The country way.
I'm an investor.
Yeah.